Hey, what's up, guys? It's Mike from Hungry in the Hudson Valley. Today I'm going to be making some gumbo, turkey gumbo, out of some leftovers from Thanksgiving. I know it's been a while since I posted something. I took like a year hiatus from the blog and everything. After I won Cooks vs. Cons on the Food Network, right after started working in a restaurant, and I've been running my business and doing the restaurant, having two little kids to look after, and then in May I started prepping for the World Food Championships, which took a lot of my time. You know, I was staying up really late at night sometimes and cooking just to practice. So I'm back. I'm going to post some videos here and there and start getting back into the groove of things. I've learned a lot this year. That's what the focus was. You know, I'm working as a line cook and doing a lot of stuff. So hopefully I can post more videos. It's almost impossible to make any videos with the kids unless they're time-lapse videos, but so you might hear some squeaks and squeals in the background. They got them watching Max and Ruby right now. They just ate some lunch, and alright, so I'm going to get back to it. Right here I got a roux cooking, which is a cup of oil, a cup of fat. Bacon fat is really nice to use in a gumbo, and a cup of flour. So a cup of flour, a cup of fat, equal parts. Always keep it stirring. I usually do my roux really fast. You want a really dark roux for Cajun and Creole cuisine. It just adds a lot of flavor to it, a lot of nuttiness. I'm going to turn this down just a little bit, go over the ingredients here. We got one medium onion diced up. We got a couple cloves of garlic chopped up. 3 ribs of celery chopped up as well. 1 bell pepper chopped up, and a couple of tomatoes, 2 medium tomatoes chopped up there. I got some pernil, which is slow roasted Latino style pork shoulder, a lot of garlic, a lot of oregano. I got turkey breast here, which was the most succulent, yummy turkey breast I've ever eaten in my entire life. I cooked it sous vide. I brined the turkey first. The white meat I cooked sous vide at 143 for about 18 hours. It came out really, really good. This is some andouille sausage. I used D'Artagnan. They got some really fantastic products. I also got some dark meat turkey, which I cook confit, which is just cooking it under fat, preferably duck fat, but you can use canola oil or olive oil. Not extra virgin. It would be a waste of money, and it's a little on the bitter side, some of them. So this was cooked confit, which is under fat for about 3.5 hours at 300 degrees. I also have some okra that my mother-in-law made. It's not gumbo if you don't use okra. And I got some turkey stock, a quart here. I'm probably going to need some extra. I didn't have more turkey stock, so I'm just going to use some chicken stock, unsalted. I'm going to season it myself. Turkey stock, I just cooked down bones, turkey, you know, trim and everything from when I cut up the bird, over low simmer for about 18 hours. Really good stuff. Alright, so cool. I think we're ready to get started here. I'm going to turn this up. So I got my roux going, and you're going to want to keep stirring your roux. I'm probably going to pause the video for a minute because it's going to take a little while. While it's on the heat, you definitely have to keep stirring it, and if it's really hot, even if you take it off the heat, you really need to keep stirring it because of the carryover heat. You want to get it to a nice dark chocolate brown. It's going to add a lot of nuttiness, a lot of flavor to the dish. And from there, we're going to start adding in our other ingredients. Okay? So this is the base of most Cajun and Creole cuisines right here, which is this roux, which is cooked way beyond what most French chefs would even want to look at. They just started throwing together flavors down there in New Orleans. There was a mix of Haitians and Africans and French people, and they kind of just made this meld of cuisine that's really, really delicious. Some knock your socks off food. Alright, so I'm going to stir this for a little bit. I'm going to pause the video, and I'll come back when this gets a nice dark chocolate brown. If you're doing this at home, you're going to want to pay attention to the color. Don't get freaked out if it smells like burnt popcorn. It's supposed to smell like that. What you do want to look at is, though, if it starts to get dark brown, you're going to want to start to pull it off the heat and mix it, whisk it as you go. because that's when you're going to be really easy to burn it. Because if you leave it on the heat and you take it off and you're like, oh, it's done now, you're still going to have that carryover temperature, which will absolutely ruin your roux. So we'll be back in a couple of minutes. All right, so I'm back here and I got my dark chocolate roux. I hope you can see that. One thing I want to say is when you're stirring your roux, you do have to do it continuously, but be very careful. Make sure you have a high-sided pot. The oil is very hot and very viscous. It just splash anywhere and burn you really bad. So we got our roux here. I like it nice and dark. It's a lot of flavor. And we're about to get ready to start assembling this gumbo. Okay, so let's put in our onions first. It's important that we put in the onions first so that they can caramelize and sweat out a little bit. Then we'll put the rest of the aromatics in after. Okay, so just remember that. Put your onions first. Let these guys, get rid of this here. Throw this in the sink. Alright, so it's going to start to thicken up as the onions release their moisture and start cooking. The roux took me about 10 minutes. I do it pretty hot on high heat. I've gotten pretty good at it. If you're not comfortable with that, if you think that you're going to burn it, take your time, do it over a lower heat, like medium, and just keep whisking it. You don't want the flour to settle at the bottom of the pot, otherwise it's going to burn, and you don't want that. If you get comfortable doing it, you can do it really fast and make a roux relatively quickly over high heat. You just got to remember to pull it off the burner as it gets hot. You see it starts smoking, you have to pull it off and stir, and it's going to keep cooking for 2 to 3 minutes, and that's when you could easily burn it. But as you can see, we got our onions in there. It's getting really dark now. I'm going to season it along the way as I add ingredients. So I'm just going to add a little salt here, nice little pinch for those onions. Okay, I'm going to sit there and cook this. I fell in love with gumbo. We went to a trip for my business down in New Orleans and had some really, really awesome gumbo down there. It's funny, the touristy spots, they actually didn't have great gumbo, but if you try to find the stuff the locals eat, you'll find some really great gumbo. Good jambalaya. Had some rabbit jambalaya down there. It was really awesome. Alright, so these guys are looking all funky. They're doing their thing. I'm going to cook them for another 30 seconds or so. I'm going to keep stirring it. This burner isn't the best, but it's the only way I could really shoot a video. Coming to you live from the top of my refrigerator. Yeah, it smells good. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to throw in my peppers and my celery. It's going to be really thick and hearty. Just doing its thing. It's going to thicken up even more because you're releasing more moisture, and a roux is the flour and the oil. As the moisture hits it, the starch swells and absorbs the water, so it thickens up. Alright, so let that go for a second. I'm going to do a little more seasoning here. Always season your food good. A lot of times if you make food and you feel like it's all flat, it's probably because you didn't season it. A lot of people are scared of salt and pepper, but that's the first thing we're doing in the restaurant. You know, we're seasoning with salt and pepper, season correctly. One rule to follow, or that I live by, is you can always add more later. So if you're not sure, add a little bit at a time, because you can... I gotta take my son to the bathroom. Hold on, bud. Alright, we'll pause this and come back. I will move this over real quick. One sec, bud. The salt thing, so if you add more than if you add too much, you can't take it out, but you can always add more, so that's the logic behind that. Alright, let me do this real quick, and I'll be right back. So I gotta get this heat up again. I'm gonna add my tomatoes in now. Okay, oops, I should have added my garlic. Add your garlic first. You want to get that in there, that'll be fun. I'll stir it into the bottom. I'm gonna let this cook for a minute. I'm gonna put it on pause. Okay, a little sprinkle of salt. All right, and I'm gonna come back in a minute once this cooks down. I'm gonna give it 5 or 10 minutes, and we're gonna move on. Cooked it down for like 5 minutes. All right, so we're getting ready to add our stock in there. You know, I'm gonna add my meat in. I'm not gonna add in the turkey breast because I don't want it to shred. I want to have some big chunks in there. We added in our pernil, and I'm gonna add in some of this dark meat turkey. It's super yummy. This is gonna be a really hearty, like, stew. There's a bunch of different ways to do gumbo. As far as thickening it, you know, you can thicken it with okra. Obviously, the roux is there. There's filet gumbo, which is a saffron leaf, which is some people use. I'm just using the roux, and the okra is going to be in there too. That's already cooked. Okra's a little slimy. You can cut that sliminess of okra when cooking it by using an acid. My mother-in-law uses lime. Some people use vinegar. Alright, so this is all funky. We got our andouille in there, spicy, savory sausage, really good. The pernil is in there. Alright, this burner doesn't get too hot. So those other meats are already seasoned, so I'm not going to throw in more seasoning. I'm going to actually wait. I'm going to add this in after the stock. You got stock. You're supposed to add hot stock to this, but this is real life here. So I'm trying to do this on the fly. I did microwave it a little bit just to heat it up. And it's going to be fine. It's not going to be clumpy or anything. Alright. That turkey stock came out really, really good. Like I said, I just cooked down the bones and the trim. I took out a lot of the fat. I didn't put the fat in there, but I just cooked it down very low for 18 hours. Really good stock, unseasoned. Alright, this is going to thicken up really nice. I'll pause it again. I'm going to add some okra in. And then I'll pause it again for a minute just so the video is not too long. Get some okra in there. Yeah, people make it all different thicknesses. Some people like it as like a soup. Some people make it really thick. It's really up to your preference. Okay. But it's going to be really, really flavorful. What I'll do right now is season it here. I got some Cajun spice. The one thing that makes this Cajun too is adding in the tomatoes there. Creole usually doesn't add the tomatoes, so that's a big difference there. I know some people wonder about that. I'm going to add in, I like it nice and heavily seasoned. You get like 1/4 cup in there. I'm also going to put some cayenne in after. My wife doesn't like spicy food, so she wanted some gumbo. I'm going to add that in after I get her a couple of little quart containers set up of gumbo. I'm going to stir this up and have a little taste. I'm going to add more stock, make it a little thinner, plus it's going to thicken up as the heat hits it. Alright. Always taste your food as you're going. It's really good. I'm going to add some more. Like I said, I like a lot of seasoning in my my gumbo. I just want it to be like boom. That's like another tablespoon and a half. Alright, I'm going to put this on pause real quick and we'll come back in a second. Tastes really good. I'm going to season it with some pepper. Don't be afraid to season your food. Got some thyme leaf. This is about the leaves off of like 3 sprigs, 4 sprigs. Okay, I got the heat lowered here. Got a little bit of arroz gandules here that I'm going to eat mine over. First I'm going to get some to the side for my wife because she doesn't like it spicy, and then I'm going to add the cayenne and we're going to be all set. You could also put the filet powder in there too if you want. Add a little flavor. Here's my little guys. I didn't add more stock. I'm happy with the thickness of it. So it's a quart of stock there for the amount of roux. Alright, let's get this down. Alright, let me quart some up for Liz. How you guys doing in there? How's Matthew? Good? Watching Max and Ruby. Alright, she'll eat some of it. Alright, so we got a quart for Liz. Probably take some to the restaurant tonight too. And then I like it spicy. I like it to blow your head off. That's just me. You can put cayenne in as you want. Yeah, I know it's a lot, but I feel like after a certain point of adding cayenne, it doesn't heat it up more than you think it would. Alright. I will mix this up. Turn this off. Now we'll taste it. Looks really good. And it smells incredible. Once I'm done, for sure, I'm going to add in my turkey breast because I don't want to rip it up, you know, like the dark meat and the pernil. Cayenne will take a minute or two to bloom to get the spiciness out in the whole dish. Give this a taste. Fire. So good. I feel the spiciness creeping up in there, so that's it for that. This is all set. So I'm gonna add my turkey breast. If you want it a little thinner, you can just add in some more stock. If it's unsalted stock, just make sure you taste it and season it as you go. Yeah, I don't want these guys to crumble up, so I'm gonna try to be careful here. Take a minute for them to warm up. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you can make your own turkey gumbo with your leftovers. You will not be disappointed. Like I said, it's one of those dishes that just knocks your socks off. Really good stuff. My arroz con dulces. And there we go. So savory, so hearty.